We should be live in Facebook group. Be live in. We are live at Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live Facebook group. We're gonna get started in a minute. Today's topic is 7 steps to financial freedom using creative real estate investing. So that's today's topic. We're gonna talk about how to go from transactional to deals to actually cash flowing the deals, right? So today we're talking about how to while you're doing wholesale deals, also at the same time picking up cash flowing deals so that one day you don't have to worry about closing deals anymore, because you have enough cash flow from deals you did in the past, right? So I think that's the end goal for everybody, is that financial freedom where you don't have to close any deals anymore, you don't have to hustle anymore. You just have the cash flow coming in and you don't got to worry about anything anymore, right? So I've been sick the past uh week, the past maybe 5 days with like, flu and stuff. So my voice kind of maybe go in and out, and I might cough a few times here and there. So I apologize in advance. But my goals when doing this is partner with you on deals. I started a meetup group back in Chicago about I don't know, 14 years ago, maybe 12. I think it was like had been like 12 years ago. I think I've been in real estate full time for like 14, 15 years. And then 2 years after I started a meetup group in Chicago. And my whole intent of that was to help people close their first deal, mentor people, teach them everything we're doing to make money in real estate without using their own money, their own credit. And in return, we partner with people on deals. And it's cool is that I have people that I've still partnered with from those meetings like 10 years ago I met, or 8 years ago. So um get out there, partner with people, meet with people, and that's my intent with these trainings, is just to help you close your first deal if you haven't closed your first deal, and to help you close lots of deals if you already closed deals. So if you're not in the Facebook group, go to Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live Facebook group. And if you go there, um, in the search feature, you can search any of the video training. I pretty much have a training video on almost every topic on creative real estate investing. You can check it out there. And if you're in the Chicago market for looking for buying properties, you can join our buyers list here. If you have a deal that you maybe have under contract or they own, maybe a good investment deal, you can send it to us. We're actually buying properties now, and we are looking to flip properties. We're looking for good deals in good areas. So send us your deals that you have, and we can take a look at it, see if the numbers work, right? So I have 5 steps here. So 5 steps to financial freedom, and I added two more just to the three more steps I added the are basically advanced strategies to get better. So the 2 steps I had. So 5 steps to financial freedom. First of all is educate yourself, right? You got to get educated. That's why I do these trainings. So if you're in here, the Facebook group here, educate yourself, learn how to flip and cash flow houses without using your own cash and credit. Because guess what? You're always going to run out of cash, you're always going to run out of credit. And if you learn strategies that you don't have to have cash or credit, you can do as many deals as you want, right? So in the feature section, these are like the new replays. In the guide section, you see the older ones, but you can go in the search feature. And let's say you want to learn about wholesaling. You just type in wholesaling, and then you can see all the training videos I have on wholesaling properties. So there's probably maybe 20, 30, maybe even more, just specifically on wholesaling, right? If you're trying to learn about how to talk to sellers, how to negotiate, all you do is go to the search feature and then type in, how to talk to sellers, right? So boom, you have maybe 10 videos on negotiating, talking to sellers, live calls with sellers I do. So there's tons of training on that, right? Um, so any question, I probably answered it in these training videos, right? So educate yourself, learn how to make the offers, learn how to analyze deals, learn how to uh, negotiate, how to talk to sellers. And of course, the first step is to close your first deal, right? Like I like to use like a baseball diamond, right? First step is educate your to get the first base, you got to educate yourself. Second base, close your first deal. Third base, close at least 5 deals, and to hit a home run, you're gonna start hiring, start cloning yourself, right? Start cloning yourself, start hiring people, start mentoring people, have been doing for the last I think 12, 13 years. I've been mentoring people and splitting profits with people. All right, we currently have maybe 23 deals under contract in 5 different states. And if those 23 deals close, we have a potential profit like over close to maybe 300,000 or more, right? I think we have about 8 of them with a buyer already, and those should bring in a potential profit of close to 100,000. So that's the name of the game, is cloning yourself, hiring people. And guess what? I didn't Out of those 23 deals I have under contract, I didn't talk to one seller. I didn't make one offer to a seller. I didn't negotiate with seller. I didn't go to the house and drive to the house. I didn't have to meet the buyers at the property and show it. I didn't have to do any of that. Why? Because I have hired a team to do all that for me. I have students that I mentor that are talking to the sellers. I have cold callers, VAs that are talking to sellers, making the offers, right? So that's the home run is to get to step 4 is you start hiring, start cloning yourself, right? So you don't have to do everything yourself anymore. And you can scale it, right? On your own, you can probably get away with doing maybe 2 deals a month if you're hustling like crazy and working all day long. Maybe you're doing 4 to 5 deals a month on your own and you don't really have a social life. But with a team, you can do as many deals as you want, right? Like today, I probably work maybe 4 hours at most a day. And then deals just come to me because of my team. Like I wake up, I have 30, 40 deals to look at, to analyze, to make sure that my team's making the right offers. Before they sign a contract, I'm looking at the numbers, making sure that they're submitting the right contract, the right offer to the property, and I'm double checking all the numbers, making sure it works. Um, but guess what? I'm not going to the property. I'm not negotiating myself. I'm not analyzing the deals myself. I have team members doing that. People I mentor at partner deals and people that I have hired that are doing deals, doing most of the work for me, right? And then to be more advanced, you want to become a student at master negotiations. Um, and you only get that from going on becoming a master yourself, right? When I was going on appointments myself, making offers myself, meeting sellers at their homes, I went on thousands of appointments, right? Like I met with sellers at their home, made the offer over the kitchen table. And by doing that, I became a master at negotiating with sellers. And then I was able to teach other people how to do it, right? Um, so become a master at negotiations, and it's I have tons of training on that, on how we do it in our so again, if you just go to type in the Facebook group, maybe you type in master negotiations or advanced negotiations. So here's or just type in negotiation, and then you'll see videos on how to negotiate, how to get contracts signed. You'll see tons of training on how to negotiate, how to get contracts signed. So I think this is the most important part. Like most people uh fail at this business it's easy to find leads. It's easy to pick up the phone, call someone, text someone. It's easy to email people. A lot of the hard part comes down to negotiation, getting the contract signed, building rapport, and that's where these trainings come in as well, how to master negotiations. You should watch those. I probably have maybe 20 videos on that, going in deep detail on getting contracts signed, building rapport, and how to read personality types, how to lots of different strategies on how to get the contract signed. And then six is learn creative strategies like if you're just doing wholesaling, you're probably failing in this business right now. If all your strategy is wholesale, 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 trust me, we do a lot of wholesaling and we love it. We, make a lot of money from it, but you get 30 leads that come in, 29, one of those leads may be a wholesale deal, and then 29, if you just wholesaling, you just throw them away, right? But if you learn different strategies like rent to own, how to stay in the middle of the deal, or an assignment of a rent to own contract, um, or subject to or owner financing where you stay in the middle, or owner subject to owner financing where you can just assign it for a down payment, or something called straight options, or they call them novation deals where they basically you're basically wholesaling deals off the MLS. You get it under contract for 100, you list it for 130, and you find more so for like a retail buyer. If you learn Airbnb management where you can make $1,000 a month off one property, or Airbnb rental arbitrage where again you can make $1,000 off one property. This is going to skyrocket your profit in closing per deal because equity doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if they owe as much as it's worth. It doesn't matter if they're upside down sometimes. It doesn't matter if there's only 10 grand of equity or there's only, with the wholesaling, you need to be at typically you take the ARV 70% off times 70%, 0.70 minus rehab costs. So you're taking 30% off. With these other strategies, that doesn't matter, right? Like it can be only 5% equity or 90% equity. So this opens up the this opens up the potential for a lot more money. Like you have 20, 30 leads that come in, one of them's a wholesale, and then the other 29, maybe one of those 29, one of them you get a rent to own where you stay in the middle of it. And it's like you own the property, you can sell it, you can rent to own it, you can Airbnb it, you can again just sell it outright. Maybe two of those 29 or two of those 29 are rent to own assignments where you just assign the rent to own for a down payment. Maybe a couple of those 29 leads that you're about to throw away are just straight option listings that you can basically list your option on the MLS. You get an option agreement to purchase at this price, and then you with the owner's permission, you get the right to list it and add your fee on top. And maybe out of those 29, maybe one of them's an Airbnb management where you can make $1,000 a month or even more, right? So learning different strategies, and that's the thing is like wholesaling, doing assignments of contracts, that's transactional, right? Doing straight option, that's just you get paid once and that's it, right? Whereas if you got a rent to own and you, let's say, rent own to someone else, or you turn it into Airbnb, or maybe it makes money off just a normal rental, you're cash flowing every month. You're making money every single month, right? Airbnb management, you're making money every month. Actually, Airbnb management, you're making money every week. People checking it out every single week. Subject to owner financing, you can make money every month. You can do subject to owner financing. You can turn around rent to own it, make cash flow every month. You can Airbnb it, make money every single week. So that should be your strategy. Every lead that comes in, let's say that you're just doing wholesaling, right? And you got those 30 leads that came in. One of them was a wholesale deal. You made 10 grand, and now you have nothing left, right? But let's say that you learn these different strategies. 20, and let's say you got five of those out of those 30 leads, five of them you turned into other one of these strategies, and then you end up making now 50, 60, 70 grand out of 30 leads, right? So you're basically quadrupling your profit, right? But I think the end goal is out of those 30 leads, turn three, four of them into cash flowing assets, right? So let's say out of those 30 leads, you pick up maybe three of them that you turn into Airbnb, or maybe three of them you just rent to own. You turn into a rent to own, you're making 500 to 1,000 a month each property. So that's cash flow. Now you're making 3 grand a month off these same leads that you had before, right? So same exact leads you had before, you're making 3 grand a month, right? So I don't understand why people just say just focus on wholesale or just focus on transactional fix and flip, right? It's like, man, when leads come in, if you can turn it into 1,000 bucks a month, just do that 10 times, and you got 10 grand a month. Now you can quit your job, right? So I think that's the end game is like um leads come in. Yeah, some deals are gonna be transactional, wholesale deals, assignments. But at the same time, my end game is I need to pick up 10, 12 Airbnbs by the end of the year, right? And those 10, 12 Airbnbs are gonna make me 10 grand, 12 grand a month in cash flow. And now I can quit my job. Now I have the freedom, right? And then number seven is hire, mentor, train a team, learn this entire process, have them go through the same process you went through. So when you hire somebody, you're going to have them go through the same process. So if it's someone like one of my students is hiring somebody, I just say, hey, just give them the login to the membership, have them watch the training videos, and you're just training them exactly how I trained you. And you're just, you don't have to reinvent the wheel and create your own videos. You can just use ours that we have already, right? So imagine having 10 people on your team. So another thing is leveraging people, right? The same thing how you're leveraging deals. So imagine, you have 10 people on your team. Now everything is done for you, right? So let's say that you've hired three or four people and now you're mentoring five or six people and you have a total of 10 people on your team that is making offers with you on your team and partnering with you and doing deals with you. And now those 10 people, yeah, every single one of them making maybe two offers a day. That's 20 offers a day on your behalf on as a company, right? You're making 20 offers a day. You could potentially get a deal under contract almost every day, right? Especially if uh everyone is trying to become better at negotiations. Everyone's trying to become better at building rapport, better at learning all the different strategies that they can do. And there's a lot of other strategies that I'm going to talk about in the membership group, but I don't want to this training to be too long, right? So again, always close transactional deals like wholesale deals, straight options. Maybe you're doing fix and flips. Maybe you're just buying properties and reselling them, wholesaling, assignments. These are all transactional, right? So keep doing that, and at the same time, add the creative offers where you stay in the middle of the deal, like sandwich rent to own, subject to maybe owner finance. Maybe you start Airbnb management. I actually talked to one of my students, Andre. He has 20, I think 26 Airbnbs now, and it hasn't even been like 1 year since he started. So 26 Airbnbs in 1 year, do you think that like changed his whole life, his whole family's life, everything? Of course it did, right? And that could be you. That you can get started today and just like 12 months from now you have 10, 12. 26 is a lot, but maybe just you get 10 or 12, right? And now you're making 10,000 a month in cash flow. And that's true financial freedom, right? Like you wake up and like, hey, I don't have to close a deal this month because I got 10 grand a month coming in cash flow. So now I don't even need to close a wholesale deal or any transactional deal. So I don't need to hustle them. I can take the whole month off, go on vacation to the beach, take the whole month off and just stay at a hotel and chill, relax, be with my family. Um, and I don't have to close a deal. I don't have stress anymore. I'm not gonna worry anymore, right? That's true financial freedom where there's cash flow coming in every month, whether you work or not. You don't need to close a deal anymore. And now you have the freedom to hire more people. You have the freedom to mentor more people, to clone yourself more, to you have the freedom to be there for your family, of course, to always be there. and be a blessing to your family, right? And I think that's the end game for everybody is just financial freedom. I don't think most people, it's about just accumulating lots of money and buying the biggest house and the nicest car. I think it's more so of financial freedom where it's true freedom of your time, freedom to go where you want, do what you want, and not live in a constant state of worry, constant state of stress. Believe me, I was there. I was always, man, I gotta hustle, 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 close the next deal, or else I'm not gonna be able to eat this month, right? Like that was real, and that's real for a lot of you. But if you add these creative strategies, if you add start hiring, mentoring people, you can have that financial freedom that you're looking for, where you don't need to worry or stress anymore about where the next deal is coming, because you have the team in place, you have the cash flowing properties in place, and now you don't need to worry anymore, right? And we just hit like we're over 3 million in revenue on Airbnb. And that's just one account. We have like three other accounts, and that's just from what I just taught you here, like over 3 million in revenue at Airbnb, and it's because uh we added rent to owns, Airbnb, we did lots of Airbnb management deals, we did subject to owner finance deals, and we just turn around Airbnb. I don't believe in getting into debt anymore, so I don't personally do subject to owner financing. I rather turn the deal into a rent to own where I can get out of it if I want to. Let's say market crashes and or another COVID hits and I need to get out. Rent to own, I have an agreement saying I can get out of this. I have an option to buy. I don't need to buy the property, right? So I like rent to own over that. But hey, if you want to do if you want to do owner financing, you want to do subject twos, that's all that's fine, right? Like you can do that as well, right? And in our CRM, like we have a 5 offer system where the CRM comes up with the cash offer, the sandwich rent to own offer, wholesale rent to own offer, or whole assignment of rent to own. And that those same numbers could be the owner financing numbers where you do subject to owner financing. Uh, so the numbers are the same, it's just different, basically just different paperwork, right? So if you need mentorship, you need hand holding, you can reach out to me. There's like a 90-minute presentation on how it works. We actually added a lot of new stuff that's not in the presentation. I just haven't had, well, I have had plenty of time, but I just been lazy and hasn't updated yet. So we added unlimited skip trace leads, so you can go anywhere nationwide, type in a zip code and get all the tax delinquents, cell phone numbers, emails for all the sellers and start calling them today. We added unlimited funding where we can of course, double close your deals and you don't have to pay any fees. Limited funding as well, where we actually we have partnered with a hedge fund and we actually take down the property, fix and flip it, rehab it. So I've partnered with a guy that's done over 4,000 fix and flips, and they have like 300 million sitting in the bank, and they're looking for deals. They don't have enough inventory, so that's where we come in and we're finding inventory for them, and we actually are partnering with them as far as we close on it together, we fix and flip it together, and we have a percentage of that rehab where we split the profits. And unlimited support. If you need support, reach out to us. It's unlimited support. So kingdomracademy.com, check it out. It's like a 90-minute presentation on how it all works. Um, I think I do want to get into that really quick. So our CRM has all these offers built in, like all the cash flowing offers. So it's just a matter of getting the lead inside. So for example, in our CRM, all you need is square footage. All we need to know is the condition, and all we need to know is the three highest comps. We enter a wholesale fee, the market rent for the property, and then we have our cash offers, our creative offers, our rent to own offers built in here. So if I go to my letter of intent where I have a script when I'm making the offer to the owner. So you don't need to even know the formula, right? So here's a cash offer where we can buy it ourselves or wholesale it, or wholesale it or fix and flip it. We have the sandwich rent to own. This can also be like the owner financing where you stay in the middle. These would be the same numbers because the only reason you stay in the middle of the deal is because of cash flow and equity. So if you negotiate cash flow and equity and there's plenty of it, you should stay in the middle of that for the long term, maybe 3 years or even longer, right? Um, so these would be the same numbers as a owner finance where you stay in the middle, or subject to if you stay in the middle. Because I think the retail value on this might be like it's like 215 and we're getting at 167. So there's like 40 grand of equity that you're walking into, right? And the market rent is 2,400 and we're getting it for 1,780. So there's cash flow, right? So this is a great deal. I stay in the middle of that. I close on it. Let's say you get a rent to own, you close on it. I have options now. I can now sell it. I can literally just get the contract signed and tomorrow put it on the MLS for 214 and I can collect my 40 grand, minus closing costs and commissions, whatever. I can collect my 40 grand in equity. I can now, if I get this signed, I can just take it down, furnish it, turn it into an Airbnb. Now I'm making 2,000 a month cash flow, right? If I get this offer signed, I can take it down. I can move into it if I want. It can be one of my, I actually moved into maybe 4 rent to owns in my history. So I've actually moved into multiple rent to owns myself where I lived in them and I eventually sold them. I eventually sold them. So you can be your dream house that you find, uh, and you don't get your credit checked. Um, if you get this contract signed, you can actually just rent it out normally if you want and hold it forever and until the mortgage is paid off or if there is a mortgage. So this is ownership, right? It's control. You basically own the property. Like I've gotten deals, sandwich rent to own where I stayed in the middle. I actually listed it for sale right away as soon as I got it, and it was on the market for 4 weeks, and then it didn't sell, so I kept it on the market. I furnished it. I turned it into an Airbnb, so now it's making 2 grand a month on Airbnb. At the same time, it's for sale. So 6 months later, I find a buyer, and I'm not worried about it because it's cash flowing, it's making money. Now I got my 40 grand of equity, 40 grand of profit, and plus I made 2 grand a month for 6 months. So I made 12 grand in profit just from the cash flow, right? Then this offer is lease option assignment where you're just assigning it. This is full retail price, full retail market rent. There's no cash flow, there's no equity, there is no reason I should stay in the middle of this deal because it doesn't cash flow and there's no equity. It's a dumb deal to stay in the middle. So I assign it for a down payment, and that's my only profit is the down payment. So I get the owner to agree to 10,000 down. I find a buyer that's willing to pay 20,000 down. So now created a spread of 10 grand. I assign it and I walk away and I make 10 grand. And this is the same exact numbers for uh, owner financing assignment, subject to assignment, if you're going to go down that route. Then this is the one for they call novations or straight options, where you actually can list wholesale deals on the MLS. And the reason you do this is because maybe you don't get it at a price low enough where you can wholesale it off market. So an investor is not going to pay that price off market. So for example, let's say I get this under contract at one 180, and then I list it for sale at maybe 195, 200. So the owner nets the 180, and then anything over that, that's our profit. That's our commission, that's our profit, right? If you're licensed, you can just do this yourself. You can do like flat fee listing. Every brokerage is different. You can do a higher percentage. I had owners sign like a 20% commission agreement. I've had owners sign a 30,000 flat fee listing. So you would talk to your brokerage and find out how they want to do that. right? And if you're not licensed, just find a licensed agent that's willing to partner with you, right? And then we do that. So, and then partnership on Airbnb. This is where we typically get 20 to 30% of total revenue from managing Airbnbs for other people. And you can structure how hundreds of different ways. We've had deals where the owner got the first 2 grand, then anything over that we split 50-50. Uh, um, so this is a great way, like if you just want to manage the Airbnbs, you're not coming out of pocket with paying for furniture, you're not coming out of pocket paying for any rent, any utilities, you're just managing it. And the reason owners will do this with you is because if you run the numbers and you see that they're going to make more than a normal rental, even after paying the management fee, then it's a win-win for the owner because they're not going to do any management. We're going to do that. And they're going to make more money than renting it normally. So it makes sense, right? So a lot of landlords try to do it on their own and they try to clean it on their own. They try to communicate with the own guests on their own. They try to do everything themselves and they get burnt out because it's too much work, right? But we have a team where we can just plug in the property and everything. We have a whole team of AI systems, pricing softwares, VAs in the background that are managing everything as far as Airbnb management goes. Right. And then we have tons of Q overcoming objections on how all the different offers work that we send to homeowners. Uh, so if you're just all about wholesale and maybe just doing listings, you're gonna always be stuck in a rat race. It's always gonna be transactional. You're never gonna get out of the rat race, right? Like you have to pick up cash flowing assets, cash flowing properties. And I believe this is like one of the fastest ways to do it, like picking up cash flowing properties via rent to own, via owner finance, via Airbnb management, or you can even do a lot of people are doing rental arbitrage where they rent the property, they get like a 5-year lease and they rent the property and then they Airbnb it, right? So yeah, get to that point, right? Like learn the different strategies, take the time off, and stop just doing wholesales and maybe you're a realtor doing wholesales and listings and that's all you got. Guess what? Like I've had properties where I listed it and didn't sell in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I just turned it into Airbnb management deal. And while it's for sale, I have no ownership in it, but I'm cash flowing it from Airbnb management, right? I'm getting 20-30%. And if it sells, I'm getting my commission of 20-30 grand or whatever the commission is, right? So you can cash flow properties and make a good profit even if you have no ownership interest in it. So if you guys have any questions, you can reach out. This is my number, my email, if there are any questions at all. And guys, like the main thing is like uh making money is great, all that's great, but man, if every time I don't teach, I'm not teaching like Bible, Jesus, man, it's not worth it, for my opinion. Like the most important thing is man, have you submitted yourself, right? Do you have a transformation story where there was a time before Jesus and then what happened after you met him, right? And I think that's my my purpose of why I'm here is just to point people to him. Like all this is great and all this is because I believe uh wisdom from the Bible has taught me to all of this. I was basically 10 million in debt, couldn't pay like tons and tons of mortgages. I was in default. And during that time, I was working from the moment I woke up to the time I went to bed. Uh, 16-hour days, 18-hour days. I had to work to keep up with all the payments, right? And it was stressful and it was, like very stressful. And now I teach like, man, don't get into debt. Getting into debt is don't owe the Bible says over and over again, owe no man nothing but to love him. A borrower is a slave to the lender. And there's so many stories in the Bible about staying out of debt and how it's good to be debt free. And that's what I believe. I truly believe that because I experienced it. I was 10 million in debt, couldn't pay all these mortgages, had family, friends that I had to pay back, and it was like, elephant on your chest. I was actually suicidal. I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, man, I can't do this anymore. I have all this debt I need to pay. I can't, COVID hit. I lost all my Airbnb money. Half of the tenants stopped paying the rent because they announced on the news that tenants don't have to pay rent for the whole year. It took us over 2.5 years to evict tenants out of our properties. On top of that, they're not letting anyone in the properties because of COVID, so we can't even sell them, right? So I became this motivated seller and just basically, I was 10 million in debt, addicted to alcohol, addicted to pornography, addicted I was depressed, suicidal, all at the same time, right? I lost my mansions, I lost my cars, moved from a 6,000 square foot mansion to a 200 square foot little bedroom back in my parents' house, and it was like a hell on earth for me, right? Um, but in that time, um, God humbled me. Like he humbled me, like saying, man, you don't need anything. All you need is me, right? And my transformation story was just before Jesus, I was a mess, right? I was addicted to all kinds of stupid things, like chasing the next alcoholic drink to get drunk. I was basically chasing women, right? I was a mess, right? But then after, like, I'm at peace. Like nothing controls me. Like I'm not controlled by alcohol or pornography or any of that stuff anymore, right? Like before it controlled me, I had to do it. I had to get a drink. I had to watch pornography. I had to. It is something that controlled me, right? And now after, I'm set free, right? And I believe we all need some every story in the Bible, there was a transformation of people that met Jesus. Apostle Paul, he met Jesus and then he changed everything. He used to kill Christians and now he's discipling as many people as possible, right? So every story in the Bible there was a transformation. So has it happened to you? Has a transformation happened to you? Right? Like there should be a time like before I met Jesus and then after, right? And and the Bible is the thing that transforms us. That's why I'm always reading the scriptures to us because it's like this really when you read it, it really changes who you are. It changes how you think, how you see the world, how you speak, how you hear people, where you walk, what you do with your hands for work. It changes everything, right? As you read the word of God and you actually listen to it and you actually meditate on it and think about it, it will transform you. Like the word of God has the power to change everything about how you think, how you act, everything. So in James 4:7-10, it says, humble yourselves before God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Humility, I think, is the number one like thing. Like if you want to grow in your personal relationships, in your business, humility. Before, I was the guy that thought he knew everything and nobody could tell me anything because I've been doing this business for 10 years. I'm a veteran. I know what I'm doing. You can't tell me nothing. That's how I used to be. But now it's more so of like, man, I don't know anything. I need to learn from people better than me. I need to read more books. I need to buy more courses and grow and learn more and become a better person, right? So humility, being humble, uh, realizing that you don't know everything, realizing that uh, it's not about you, it's about other people, it's about God. That's the best way to grow is having a heart of humility, a mindset of humility. Come close to God and he will come close to you. And this verse here, like come close to God, come close to you, is like, man, I couldn't come close to God because I had to work 16-hour days in order just to pay the bill, right? Like I couldn't come close to God because I had to work all day long just to pay all these debts that I had, right? Um, So sometimes God takes everything away just so that you can come closer to him. And I knew, just going through what I went through, it was just like, man, that was just God trying to draw me closer to him. So I have time to spend with him. I have time to read his word. I have time to pray. I have time to listen to him. I have time to actually do what he's saying, right? It says, wash your hands, you sinners, purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided between God and the world. And that was me. Like, I wanted to be like the world. I wanted to be like the Grant Cardones. I wanted to own thousands and thousands of units and get billions of dollars in debt, uh, because I wanted to be like somebody else, right? And I think that's why we all get into debt. We get into debt because we want things that other people have, right? Because we're not happy with the life that we have because we see someone else having a better life. So uh we chase things of the world, right? So purify yourself, purify your hearts, right? Like just know that like um our inherent, this life on earth is not the end, right? Like after this life, if you surrender your life to Jesus, gave your life to him, surrendered your life to him, um after we pass away, we're gonna have everything you could ever imagine, right? Your inheritance is you're walking on gold, and you just walked on $100 million in heaven, right? So stop chasing things of this world because the true life is in the next world. Let there be tears for you for what you have done. Let there be sorrow and deep grief. Let there be sadness instead of laughter, gloom instead of joy, right? And then that's like thinking about your past, the things that you've done, right? Like sorrow and deep grief for hurting God's heart, right? God has feelings. Like he in the Bible it says that he grieves, he's sad, he gets angry, he gets mad at people, he gets disappointed, he has feelings, right? Like um and by disobeying him and not listening to him, it grieves him, right? Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up in honor. So humble yourselves before God. Realize that you don't know everything. Realize that it's not about you. Not everything revolves around you and your feelings. It's actually things that happen to us, like all the bad things that happen to me. I realize it's not for me. It's for other people. I just talked to a friend today. He's literally going through the same thing I went through. And so and that's why God lets us suffer, is so that we can comfort our other brothers and sisters, our friends, our families, and tell them what God did for us during those times of suffering, so that we can help other people going through that. So literally, that just happened today, and it was just like, man, I just told him like, man, just stay faithful to God. Sometimes God just wants all the noise out of the way, so it's just you and him, right? So humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up in honor. So what's your transformation story? Is there a transformation story before Jesus and then after? I believe like if you really surrendered your life to Jesus, there has to be a transformation. Like it's because everything Jesus taught is like opposite of the world, right? Like so it's like what's your transformation story, right? And if you haven't had one, if you never surrendered your life to Jesus, like today's the day. Like this world is you look at what's going on, like they literally have everything in the Bible coming true, like one world order, the Israel, and Israel in the last days, the whole world will be against Israel, going to war against them. In the last days, there'll be one world order. There's a World Economic Summit. They meet every single year. They talk about how they're planned for one world government, one world order every single year, and it's public information. You can just go on YouTube and watch the whole thing. And these are multi-billionaires of the biggest companies in the world that want to do this. So all that's coming true. Like there will be one world order. There will be everything in the Bible predicted coming true. And Jesus is coming back, right? So what's your transformation story? Right? Like share your story. And what in the book of Acts, like every time Apostle Paul was sharing the gospel. He shared his story, what happened to him, right? So we should be sharing our story, what happened to us before, and then what's happening after, right? So I want to thank God just for all his blessings, just giving us, his word and just giving us this technology and just everything that you provide. Thank you for your wisdom, your knowledge. Thank you for your strength every day. Thank you for wisdom every day. And I pray for blessings and favor over everyone's uh, family, everyone's health, everyone's financial situations. I pray for your favor and your blessings to fall upon everybody in Jesus' name. So we'll be live in the membership group in a few minutes. I hope you guys got a lot of today. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But let me know if you guys have any questions at all. Of course, if you have any need any help, any prayer for anything, you can reach out to me too. God bless.